Hello. Let Skunk Commentary begin.
What is up, folks? My name is SkunkCommentary's, and today I'm gonna talk about seeing on the channel while making all these videos and doing research and all that. I feel like is a lot of how people are these days, and a lot of people need guidance. And I'm not sitting here saying like I'm a masterful guru of everything, but I feel like these are some tips and tricks and, you know, some things that people might need to learn and then look at themselves with new eyes. This video is also heavily inspired by Jeffrey Phillips' video Uncle Shade's Advice for Teens and Adults, and I felt like I wanted to do something similar. And I am an adult and all that, but yeah, this first episode is gonna be about 3 things that I think everyone of every age should think about, and that is common sense, thinking before you speak, and trying to see other people's perspectives. So, I'm gonna begin with talking a little bit about common sense, because these days common sense is thrown out of the window. Like, these days common sense is less worth, apparently, than feelings. And I feel like this is a big issue. I mean, we as a society need to see common sense as something good. It worked out for our parents. I think that everyone who watches its videos, or my videos in general, their parents grew up with common sense. Like, there's a fight happening up there. Should I go in and should I call for help and call people in to try and to break it up, or should I just film it? These days people would film it. Back in the day people would try and break it up. Or someone is actively injured over there, has their leg splintered, but people are just filming it and looking at it. Should I, call an ambulance? Should I go in there? No. Or heck, even this person is being rude to me. Should I try and confront this person? No. Try and talk to them, make it work? Or should I just, go in and accept whatever they think? These things, I think everyone can recognize themselves in that to some extent. Heck, I can do that too, and I think that is the society we're in right now, where, you just mind your own business. You're just a person, or you're this special snowflake. Common sense these days, especially with the rise of TikTok. I'm not gonna sit here and blame TikTok for everything, but TikTok's fan base, which is basically the entire world, has this lack of common sense. And I think that the more TikTok videos people watch, the more common sense falls. And as a man who has grown up on the countryside, where people just mind their own business, way out here we're just normal people, we're just good old farmers. Some people here also lack common sense. It's all over the society these days. But back Gen X and Gen Y, they were interested in common sense. They were like, common sense is actually something for us. But it feels like that has faltered more and more throughout the years. And now we need to take a look at what has happened to our society and then say, what the fuck is going on? Common sense, yeah. And the thing is, I can't teach you common sense. Common sense is just, you learn to adapt, and you learn to take care of other people, and you learn to, be a good human being. It can't change because of a little YouTube video. But if you start thinking about it, start talking about it more, start being open, start being nice. The golden rule. It exists for a reason. But heck, even the golden rule is like, these days, if someone doesn't agree with you, that you're a bad person. And that is all over, especially TikTok. Like, on TikTok, I identify as, my pronouns are lamp and moon because I like those things. That is just what you like. That is not something like that. And if you say that, you're transphobic, sort of taking up such a political example, but there's just, we need to start to use the golden rule. Like, if someone tries to be genuinely nice to you, or someone tries to act as an asshole, which you shouldn't act as an asshole, you should try and be nice to people. And if they don't give you a reason for it and they're rude back, then it is how they want to be treated by you. The golden rule. It's never been a bad time used, and the golden rule has existed since fucking Confucius' age. Since Confucian's age. Fuck, I started speaking Swedish there, holy. But, we need to use common sense and the golden rule. And then we also need, like I said earlier, we need to start thinking about what we say and thinking about our actions. Because these days, more than ever, anything can happen at any time, and we can all be fucked. And if you just spend a minute or two and think about your actions, you can find out that you're a pretty shitty person. And I say that myself. I'm a pretty shitty person. You're a pretty shitty person. Everyone's a pretty shitty person because we do things without thinking about them. And we need to start thinking. To say like the great Gary Golden, a good beginning is to use that thing behind that pretty face of yours, boss. It's called a brain. Something along those lines. Gary Golden, my Buddha, my guru. Anyway, but yeah, we need to start thinking about our actions, and that evolves into common sense, because common sense is when you actually think about things too. And these days, it feels like nobody thinks. People like, especially, you know, that Kim Creeps trend that happened recently. That was just people thinking out of their own, making something bigger without thinking that, oh, maybe, no, this is a gym. Everyone's allowed to look around. And it's pretty boring just staring into your equipment all the time. Or, oh, if I put up this camera equipment and start making a fucking documentary here, people will look at me because it is strange. You get what I mean? It's like people, especially with the TikTok thing, we need to start thinking about our own actions. And that also falls into common sense and all that. And it just feels like these two things have been completely forgotten these days, especially with Gen Z. And I'm saying that as a member of Gen Z. I don't want to sit here and be and act like a complete boomer, because I have common sense and I think about my actions. And the thing is, you can't just change that in a heartbeat, like, oh, now I have common sense and I think about my actions. It's a thing you need to train up, and it takes a long time. But and that is the good thing, if you're raised well, you will have been raised to have these things. I mean, I was raised well. I have common sense. I, in most situations, think before I speak. And that also adds on to my last thing that I want to talk about in this video. And that is seeing from someone else's perspective. And I think this is the most important part of the list. Because even world leaders can't see from other people's perspectives. So what I mean by seeing from other people's perspectives? Well, when you are talking to someone and you're sitting there you're thinking before you speak, you should also think, how can this person react to what I say? Like, you know, if someone tells you that they've been abused earlier in life, you can just, you know, try and not talk about stuff that might be triggering. That is how easy it is. But in that case, people needs to be open too. And it is a tough thing to learn how to see from everyone's perspective, and it's almost impossible. But if you try hard enough, you can get a good view of everything. And you can see things from a lot of people's perspectives. And that is something that is so valuable. And I think I've said this a couple times on the channel, but I enjoy writing. Writing is my hobby. It's my life, really. And commentary, this is just a hobby. But writing is my true passion, and literature is my true passion. And you can train up seeing from other people's by reading and writing. Because then you learn to see not everything, but some things from another point of view. And what is a novel when everything is from one person's POV? Well, it is unreliable. And some stories are just, well, they're just that, and that is okay. Like, American Psycho wouldn't have the same effect it has if it was written from Patrick's victims and the police's POV. But I think that you need to see every perspective available, and you need to learn how to do that too. If you manage to learn how to do that, you will be a much better person than you are. And again, I'm saying this, you're a bad person. We are all bad people because we've all done bad things. Nobody is an angel. There's always something that someone has done that has been, you know, a bad action to someone else, and we might have not thought about it, but it might have horrendous consequences for them. And if you see other people's POV, and if they tell you about stuff, you will learn how to see from their POV, and you will learn what to do and what not to do. Like, let's say someone is struggling with depression, then you might instead ask them like, hey, how are you feeling? And try and be a crutch rather than, ha! You're suffering from depression. No, and that also goes into common sense and not being an asshole. And you know, this thing these days, it feels like nobody does all these things. There are very few people on the internet who do things like that. When you go to school or work or whatever, how many people ask you how you are? How many people ask you how your day has been? How many people ask you what you did in the weekend? How many people try to, you know, actually help each other? And how many people leave others into becoming outsiders? And no, go to school and see how many people even uses common sense. And I'll tell you, it'll be shocking, but at the same time interesting. And yeah, I think that this was probably one of the most interesting things I've ever recorded, like sitting here and talking about these things. And if you enjoyed hearing my little TED talk about, you know, how to be more of an adult and life tips on how to become a better person, then please hit like. I mean, these things are important, and I know this video ain't gonna be the next, you know, big viral thing, and I know I'm not gonna be some big life guru who earns 69k a month and then becomes a sheep alpha male, because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be such as big of a beta male as like Andrew Tate. Jokes aside, the thing is, we need to, you know, take care of each other and try and do things the way our parents did in some cases, because there's a reason why Gen Z is considered the worst of all generations. We are lazy, spoiled brats, and I'm saying we again because I'm part of Gen Z, and I know there are some good people in Gen Z. The loud minority is what really, you know, brings us down. But if we just use common sense, if we just see other people's perspectives, and if we just, use the golden rule or whatever tools we have at our disposal, we can be truly good people. I believe that nobody out there is born evil. So what we need to do now is grab ourselves by the balls and just see into the future and be like, how am I going to change into a better person? And I know it doesn't happen in a heartbeat, but if you grow into a better person and you start learning more things, then the world will be kind somehow. Common sense is a good base to stand on. Yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and please tell me what topics you think would be interesting to talk about in these kind of mini-series I'm gonna start. I'm planning on doing it like every month or every other month if it's appreciated, or just, whenever I feel like it. This channel is again primarily commentary, and more commentary is to come. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.